El Azul, call me blue, check the news, I'm Texas with the moves, from where everything is bigger, boy, writing's what I do.
Hey, how y'all doing? It's Ezekiel Mitchell. This is the Chute Club, presented by Ariat, and Full Throttle. Love both of y'all. I appreciate y'all. I am in the studio with Dave.
What's happening?
So we're going to get this thing kicked off. And
I have a lot of questions.
Honestly, we're just going to dive right into this. Most of the time I tell about my day and things that are going on my day, but today was eventful, but not very eventful. I stayed in bed pretty much all day for other reasons, but sure. For the most part, we're doing good, and we'll dive into the fact that I went to the NFR.
Yeah, you did, and you almost got me on a plane. There was no planes. I got stuck in San Francisco. You're like, hey, Dave, you should come. It's really fun. I met all these people. You're being like a rodeo influencer.
Oh, yeah, so...
no riding bulls.
Yeah, so there was riding bulls. I did get on at the LJ Jenkins bull riding tour finale.
Nice.
I did not do very well. I actually got on a bull that had been on previously in Lincoln, Nebraska, the last regular season event of the year for the PBR. And he got the best of me this time. I rode him there for the big money, but fell off.
Break it down.
Yeah, just this time it was a little different. First time he was around the right, back around the left. Really good bull from Dennis Davis. And y'all go check him out if y'all are wanting to get into the bull business, because he's more than willing to help.
Oh, good tip.
But I got on a good bull of his, and the time I got on him this time, he was around the left, and me and Keyshawn, Whitehorse, we decided that we were going to get on in our cowboy hat. So if you go over to his Instagram, you can see a video of him getting on in his cowboy hat. And but mine went a little different than his the first day. I got tail whipped. So for those that don't know that, or anybody, I guess you don't really know.
No, I don't really know. I've probably seen it, but I didn't know it.
Yeah, so sometimes whenever a bull bucks, he flicks his tail almost like a whip over the top of his back.
Okay.
And when he did that, he came over the top of my cowboy hat and covered my face and bull. If we want to be just quite frank.
Well, at least your face still looks all right.
Yeah. So from then on, he just kind of had my chin picked up, and I rode him about 6 or 7 seconds, something like that. Yeah. And he ended up getting me on the ground. I could never get back down to where I needed to be. And for y'all that don't ride bulls, getting down is you don't want to be down, but you want to be where you don't want to be raised up. Yeah, you don't want to be raised up. You want to be in the right position to ride him. And I was raised up. So my body's really high, and he's going away from my hand. Which end of your hand it kind of works. When I say, for me, I'm a right-handed guy.
Right.
A bull goes right. So it's okay for me to be up high here. But if a bull's going left, it's not okay for me to be up high, because my elbow has to be down, going the opposite direction.
That center of gravity changes.
Exactly.
Okay.
So he ended up getting me on the ground. But the biggest thing that I took away from the NFR was the fact that I was a Western rodeo influencer.
I know.
That I didn't realize that was kind of my title. I guess with the reach that I have on social media, that was kind of something that was thrown upon me that I've always thought about in the back of my head, but I didn't realize how much of an influencer I actually was.
Well, I think you don't realize it, because most of the time you're participating in your event. Mm-hmm. So you're not doing, you might have a PR thing or a shoot, but it's, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. And this was the whole time you're just doing the influencer thing.
Yeah, I got to do some incredibly cool stuff while I was there and meet a lot of incredible people. Starting off the week, I hung out with Ariat.
Nice.
Ariat took me in for the week. Big shout out, great sponsor, and great people all in general. Susan and Taylor take such good care of me. But I started my week off on Saturday. I flew out to Texas to watch two of my good friends get engaged, Mason Taylor and Caitlin.
Oh, I caught that video on Instagram.
So
congrats.
Super
Very
proud
cool.
of them. Congrats. I'm happy that happened. I'm happy I was there to be a part of it. I'm surprised that Katie Bug didn't realize that I was flying all the way from North Carolina for a housewarming party. I put that in quotations for anybody that's just going to listen to this eventually. But yeah, it was super, super cool. to be able to hang out with them and do that and be a part of that. And I still don't know how she didn't know. She had a hunch that Mason was going to propose, but she didn't really know it was going to happen.
Or like when it's going to happen.
Yeah, when it's going to happen.
But
yeah. So
that's good.
that was pretty cool. But I was already flying down to Texas for that. I was going to fly in later that Sunday just to get there and hang out and spend. I think I was supposed to be there till Wednesday.
Yeah.
So me and my girlfriend, we get on a plane and get there, and Susan calls me. She's like, "Oh, when are you going to get in?" And I was like, "Well, I'm supposed to get in Sunday night." She's like, "Oh, no, man, that sucks. We're going to go to Casey Donahue Band, and
sweet.
we're going to go to the NFR, and we have extra tickets." I was like, "Well, it's nothing to change my flight. I can see if I can go on the app," which I guess I'm not going to shout out the airline yet because, they need to give me some money. But they actually do treat
You're learning the game.
They treat me very well.
That's
and,
good, man. That's good.
We went ahead and decided that we were going to change our flight. So we changed it to earlier in the day to where we didn't get hardly any sleep, I think 3 or 4 hours, and changed our flight and got on that flight later that morning. It was very early.
So no sleep going into Vegas. That's a dangerous move.
Yeah, so we get to Vegas, and the good people at Ariat, they take us out to the NFR, which if you have not been in person and you are a rodeo fan or you want to become a rodeo fan, every December it's going to go on pretty much from the first Thursday of the month, I believe, all the way to that not the next Sunday, but the following Sunday.
How many rounds?
Or Saturday.
It's a lot of rounds.
10 rounds.
Okay, and it's 10 rounds for every event?
10 rounds for every event.
Wow.
So from the bareback riding all the way to the bull riding, the team roping, tie-down roping.
I thought the World Finals for PBR was long.
Yeah, so they endure a gruesome 10 days in Vegas. And not only is it a gruesome 10 days in Vegas, they have to be there earlier than that to actually, encounter all the stuff. Like they have a back number ceremony and some other stuff. So I don't know. It's a lot on a competitor, and it's a lot just to be in Vegas that long.
So it's too much for me. 48 to 72 hours is like the most amount of time. After that, I feel just dehydrated. I want to die.
You don't even have to drink or really enjoy Vegas. Yeah. Like you'll come down with like a sinus infection or something, just because
the air's so dry.
The air's dry. You walk into your hotel, and 9 times out of 10, your hotel is going to be a casino as well.
Oh yeah.
And in the casino, they smoke cigarettes, so
that is true.
Everybody else is just coughing and hacking,
just playing the slot machines and gambling and doing nothing rodeo related. So if you're a competitor, you're looking at like 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, you're looking at 14 days easily.
Yeah.
14 days easy. Yeah, a lot of those guys get in really early, especially the guys on the timed event side. They have to be there long enough for their horses to get acclimated.
Yeah.
And make sure that the stress and the weight of actually traveling there is taken off your animals.
You gotta shake it out.
Yeah, because it is a long 10 days, and a lot of people, like in the barrel racing, I know there was, I can't remember her name right now, I just drew a blank, but she ends up winning the world title for barrel racing this year, and she rode the same horse all 10 days in the barrel racing.
Is that normal?
It is fairly normal, but it's not that normal because you want to kind of give some of them horses a break if they're not handling the ground well, or if they need to, switch out, or if they're just not clicking with that arena. They have to have another backup horse, and a lot of those women, from what I understand, go up there with 3 to 4 horses.
Wow, that's a serious investment.
That could, that can actually work, So, kudos to those women, because to have a horse that can compete at that level, let alone 3 or 4.
Dang. To say, all right, I'm bringing these 4. Yeah. I feel like I could win with one of these or all of them.
And you have to, with animals and horses and livestock, you have to expect the unexpected all the time, whether you have them at home in the pasture or you're competing for that much money like they were. You have to have that level of commitment and knowing that anything,
because they can't communicate to you.
Yeah.
I mean, body language, that's it.
Yeah, right? Exactly. And that's the biggest thing with rodeo athletes too, and especially those in the timed events. And the stock contractors in the rough stock events, they have to watch each one of those animals and know their personalities, know how they move, know when they're sore, know when they're hurt. And that comes from being around them every single day. So kudos to everybody that was in the production, everybody behind the scenes there. But back to the story, I guess, the influencer story.
Yeah. So you're with Ariat.
Yeah, I'm with Ariat, and they're like, hey, so y'all want to go to Casey Donahue after this? I was like, of course. Well, actually, I forgot to mention this part. Earlier in the day, they let me meet Casey Donahue. And if you grew up in Texas, Texas country is like everything. Casey Donahue, he has so many big hits, like Stockyards, that's the jam. Like if you ever
Stockyards, I gotta throw that on the Spotify.
Yeah. So it's just a song about growing up in the Stockyards of Fort Worth, Texas. So it's pretty badass. And I don't know, I was hanging out with him, shot a TikTok with him for Ariat.
Nice.
And got to hang out with him afterwards. And not only did I get to hang out with him, I got to hang out with one of the kings of rodeo cowboys, and that's Trevor Brazile.
Oh, dang.
I think he's won.
We've been trying to do something with him.
He's won 26 world titles.
Gosh, come on. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. And so, like, the craziest part about it is that I've met so many celebrities, like, as of now in my career that are mind-boggling for me. As a kid coming from a small town, Rockdale, Texas, moving to Houston, well, right outside of Houston, it's mind-boggling to me to be able to hang out with some of the people that I've got to hang out with, from Sylvester Stallone, Mike Epps, Scott Eastwood,
Max Maxwell.
You know, just a lot of people that are very influential in their communities and in the world.
Yeah.
But for me, Trevor Brazile was like a fangirl moment. Like, wow. I remember growing up in elementary, and
this is a way back memory.
Reading the pro rodeo books, and it was Ty Murray, and then it was him. Every December or so, they'd come out with a book and like a magazine and call him the King of Cowboys, and I was like, these are the guys that I want to be. Wow. So to get to hang out with him and sit and chill for what seemed like forever and talk about everything under the sun. It didn't even have to be about rodeo, but it was just really humbling. I hope that he doesn't think that I'm a weirdo now, because I was fangirling. I let him know. I was like, man, I'm fangirling. Like, this is unreal for me right now.
That's very cool. Yeah. So it's kind of like you guys are peers, you know?
Yeah, I mean, and I guess that's what they view me more so as than what I view myself as a peer with them, you know. So to be put in a category and hang out with them was great. And also the campaign that Ariat did with the superhero concept. Cool. So there's Trevor Brazile, Jackie Crawford, Casey Field, Jose, and me, I think, all on a billboard.
Sneaking into the billboard.
And Luke Branquino. So I'm surrounded by world champions.
Dang.
And I have yet to win one yet, but we're that's that key word, yet.
That's right. It's a matter of time, man. Leave it up to God.
Yeah, we're working on that yet. And but to be a part of that and to be considered a peer by my sponsors, to think of me that highly, to where they'd put me in a category with those kind of people, is incredible.
Nice. So, all right, so you're at the Ariat booth. You're surrounded by celebrities. Now you feel like, all right, hey, I'm kind of part of the crew now.
Oh, yeah.
So how does the rest of the week go?
So the rest of the week for the next day, I guess it was kind of slow. The next 2 days or so, we went and hung out and went and shopped at Cowboy Christmas. For people that don't know what Cowboy Christmas is, it is the mecca for whatever you want, Western lifestyle.
You can get you can get a year's worth of outfits, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, you can get a year's worth of outfits. You can get decor for your whole house.
For your horses.
You can go upstairs and you can go book a bison hunt, which I looked into because I want to go hunt a bison.
That sounds cool. Where do you do that?
It's by Santa Fe.
Okay, New Mexico.
Yeah, New Mexico. So it's in between Santa Fe and somewhere else. I forget where they said, but
okay.
I want to look into that.
All right.
But I mean, you can buy guns. They have a live rodeo pretty much every day, all day up there, and it's the junior NFR. So all these young kids that are coming from high school rodeo and stuff like that, they get a chance to qualify through their, I guess, associations.
Okay.
And come and compete
And that's where's that at South Point?
No, they have some stuff going on at the South Point too.
Yeah,
there's
so many. I can't. Okay, you got the South Point, the Vegas Convention Center,
Mandalay Bay,
Thomas and Mack.
Yeah, I forget where else. The Rio, I believe the Rio
so you
has.
Just take over all the hotels.
Yeah, so you can just.
That's like most of the Strip.
You can go anywhere, and this is the only time in Vegas that you can go and see cowboy hats. Everywhere
I have
you
to go next year. I'm just going to block it off my calendar today.
Well, you might as well, because surprise announcement for everybody out there, Ezekiel Mitchell. I don't know if I'm going to exactly make the NFR. The schedule's going to be hectic next year, but this will be my first year pro rodeoing in the PRCA.
Man, so let's go.
Catch me at a rodeo near you.
More chances to see Zeke. How about
More
that?
More chances.
All right.
So,
all right, that's exciting. I mean, I think it was maybe our first or second episode, and you mentioned, you're like, yeah, NFR is cool, focus on this, maybe we'll see. And it must have had a big impact on this trip.
Well, not just the trip, it was just the simple fact that I know, I mean, I've always known I wanted to go to the PBR, but there's something about the yellow buck and chutes that are iconic.
Man.
And
even I get that. From watching a little NFR, I can understand that.
And I think it was more so and I've always looked up to JB as a bull rider. And it was his interview that kind of brought it all home, that made me want to go back and go ahead and try that. Because, I've always wanted to compete against the best of the best. Whether I believe full-heartedly that all those guys that are making the NFR can make a run at a PBR world title or whatever that may be in the PBR. But I don't know, for somebody that had such an illustrious career in the PBR, 15 consecutive world finals, and to go there and almost be to tears to talk about what it meant to win that first round at the NFR, I was like, man, that's kind of what I'd like to see too. And there's some other reasons that I'd rather not say on camera.
Sure.
But
that sounds like reason enough.
Oh, yeah, that's reason enough.
I mean, it's coming from your heart. It's passion for the sport.
It's passion for the sport. And, I think growing the sport is everything.
Yeah.
And if I have a big enough fan base, I guess, here in the PBR and the Western lifestyle. Yeah. If I took my talents over there as well as JB did, and I'm not saying I'm going anywhere from the PBR, because I'm still going to the PBR.
We're just expanding the horizons.
I'm expanding the horizons, and I'm going to just try to enjoy it. But I am completely I think I'm for it right now. For going and trying to do this.
It makes sense to me. The way you talk about last episode, you got to get on a bunch of bulls. Well, you take your own advice, get on a bunch of bulls.
And then that's what I talked to Justin McBride earlier this year, and I was like, man, Justin, did you get on practice bulls? Or no? I think the conversation went more man, I need to start getting on more practice bulls, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, hey, did you get on a lot of practice bulls in your day? And he was like, no, I never got on practice bulls. He's like, everywhere that I pretty much went to get on bulls was for money. So it was never practice bulls. It was wherever he was going, he was getting on for money.
Motivation.
And that's what I was thinking, at this point in my career, I'm not saying I'm old. I'm 24, about to be 25. But at this point in my career, if I'm going to be doing something, it might as well be with a purpose.
Sure.
And it's hard for me as a bull rider to find, find that luster to get on practice bulls, or find just the will to want to get on whenever.
Because you feel like it's just practice.
It's just practice. It's not in front of people. The adrenaline. Once you've been up to that stage and you walk through those.
So there's a big difference, huh?
Oh yeah. Once you walk through those curtains at the T-Mobile Arena or wherever it may be, you walk through that arena and you see the people and you see the fans, and you get that first ride there, or the second ride, third ride, whatever you do. It's hard to bring yourself back down to know that your focus has to be here when your focus was on point there. And the atmosphere and the energy all ties into that.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're having, it's like I was in the gym this morning putting up jump shots, and there's nobody on my court. Nobody was there. No defender in my face. I'm going at half speed at best.
Yeah.
I'm getting a workout, but it's not the same.
I'll dog you in basketball if you want to. I mean, you got the shot.
We'll put it on the podcast.
I'll put that defense on you, man. Like, my cousin, he played college basketball.
That's true.
What's
your cousin's name? Played at Oklahoma?
Mitchell, who played at Texas A&M.
Texas A&M.
Now he plays overseas, hoping to come over here and land a gig in the NBA.
Shout out.
But his senior year kind of sucked because that was when COVID was going on.
Man.
So there's not really exposure for him to just go off his senior year. And, so now he's playing overseas. And from what I can see, he's doing damn good. But
cool.
I think that's pretty awesome. But
any day, I'm ready.
But continuing on, I guess the week kind of got better and better as it went on. So I ended up linking up with Nick. I can't say his last name. It starts with an L. He has the third most liked video in TikTok history.
What?
Correct me if I'm wrong, Nick, after this video.
Dang.
Third most liked video, and he's a Western influencer.
Oh.
And his buddy BMO, which was on that start to Chatter Gang.
I have to look this up. I'm out of the loop.
It's like it was just kind of in the Western industry, but like they went viral forever for these little model tractors that they play with, and kind of like had like the baby voice on, I guess. And it was great. And there's another guy named Caden, and let's see, who else was with us?
You have to pull up TikTok.
Yeah, they had an amazing photographer.
I remember you called me.
Yeah.
You were so excited that you met these guys.
Yeah, I did. And they had like this amazing photographer. Her name, she just commented on slid up on one of my stories and was like, photo cred, just because I reshared one of her pictures. Nice. I feel so bad. Oh, here she is. Her name is Gentry. Yeah, so Gentry cool. was the photographer. She was awesome. And the other guy, I can't remember his name as of right now.
Faces are easier.
Yeah, yeah, faces are way easier. And I only got to meet him for a night, but we hung out and we did so much social content. And they taught me so much about being an influencer and a content creator.
Share some tips. You got some tips for the people?
I guess the biggest tip that they kind of did with me was like consistency.
Common.
And posting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, consistency is key in pretty much everything you do. And but these guys were so motivated and so willing to put themselves out there, and they faced a lot of ridicule as people because they're not the traditional cowboy.
Right.
And Nick himself, he trained horses. He ran barrels and poles and rode steers as a kid, and, barrels is a women's event, but I mean, working with horses and doing stuff and training horses, I know there's several guys that made the NFR and bareback ride. I mean, not bareback riding, the bull riding and the saddle bronc riding that train barrel horses. So I don't know why people frown upon them so much, but they were all great guys. We shot a ton of content, and I can't wait till they come up here because they're coming up here shortly.
Okay.
And
nice.
As soon as they have some time freed up and they're excited about it, but we're going to shoot some more content, probably get them on the podcast.
Got to.
And
have to get a couple more mics.
Yeah, got to get a couple more mics, but we're going to get them all on the podcast and talk about just some of the stuff that goes on.
That's big.
And then, I mean, besides that being the highlight of my week, which was really cool, I can't thank those guys enough for as nice as they were to me. And just the hospitality of them opening up and letting me into their world, because they're content creators. I mean, and for the most part on social media, I do talk a little bit, but for the most part, I don't do all the clever dances that people come up with.
Yeah. And
I don't do any of that other stuff. I just kind of post bull riding videos, and sometimes I talk a little smack to the guys that are talking down on bull riding. But besides that, I don't really do nothing. So I was really, really appreciative of them and letting me into their world. But one of the coolest things that happened that week, as everybody knows, I love bullfighting, like the sport of freestyle bullfighting.
I've seen you do it a couple times.
I've done it a couple times. I love the UBF and the BFO as well. I love the sport of freestyle bullfighting, so I don't see an association keeping me from watching one or the other. But Joey from Hui, one of the biggest Western brands in the world right now, I guess. I met him at an influencer party that I got invited to last minute. So I met him, and he invited me out to go watch their finals. And he was like, hey, you know, we got a Hui party tomorrow night. Nelly's coming to play.
Nelly, like
yeah, like
country
so
grammar.
Hot and country grammar, yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah, so
Okay, so Nelly.
Yeah, so
did you meet Nelly?
That's the interesting part about the story. You know, I was hanging out, and I was like, cool. I told Joey, I said, Joey, look, I'm supposed to fly out first thing in the morning. My flight got delayed because of all the wind and stuff. I said I had to get another flight. It's like, I'm flying out first thing in the morning, me and my girlfriend. He's like, well, it's Nelly. And I was like, well, if you can get me to meet Nelly, then I'll go. And he was like, I don't know if I can make it happen, but I'm going to try my best to make it happen. He's like, just stay. He's like, come watch the finals.
All right.
And I'll try to make it happen. And I was like, all right, cool. So I was like, cool. Walked out, whatever, went back to my bed, went to sleep. Woke up the next day, girlfriend leaves. She had some other stuff to take care of back home. And I was like, man, I really hope this is worth it. So I went back to the booth, at the area booth, met up with Nick and BMO and Caden, and we shot a few more TikToks and hung out. And I was like, man, I don't know how this is going to work. He has not given me any information about what I should do besides having a negative COVID test. And I was like, what the heck do I do? So, I don't know, I went to the party, started hanging out, kind of got bored because they had us in a VIP section, but everybody's lying, we're upstairs, everybody's lying down the front of it. I can't see Nelly, I can't see anything going on. I'm like, all right, dude, I'm about to leave.
Just in a fishbowl.
Yeah. I was like, I'm leaving. I start walking down, ask a guy outside the little venue we're at, where's the taxi stand? He's like, oh, you just walk down that way. So I walk down, and I get about halfway there, and the CEO of the PBR walks up to me and goes, Zeke, where are you going? I was like, I'm headed home. I was like, what are y'all doing? He's like, we're going to the Hui party. And I was like, I just left there. He was like, well, you're not leaving. You're coming with us. And I was like, well, I'm trying to get home. Like, I got a flight at 6 a.m. He's like, nah, come with us. And I was like, all right, cool. So I walk back with them, and I already had a band. Sean's trying to scramble to get a band, Sean Gleason, our CEO.
Yeah.
And I would just walk in, and then they'd let him in, and we walk up the stairs, get up the stairs, go over to where Joey is, CEO of Hui, owner and operator, whatever. And they're like, hey, y'all need a band to get in here. Like, every part of this
Was like a different band?
Yeah, a different band. So
Dang.
I didn't have the band, so I was like, cool. While he's over here arguing, talking, I'm just going to walk by.
That's how you get it done, by the way.
So I just walked by. And, like, at this point, I already have two bands. They gave me two bands just to be in there so I can be upstairs and downstairs.
Got it.
So I just walk by, get back there, run into Joey, start talking to him, run into the first black rodeo queen from Arkansas, I believe, and take some pictures with her, whatever, whatnot, and we're having a good time. And Joey comes to us after it's all over. Nelly walks off stage. Everybody's just sitting here talking. Joey walks up to me, grabs me. He's like, hey, walk with me. Me and the rodeo queen. He's like, walk with me. So we walk through this back door, walk up these stairs. Guy stops us. Oh, wait up. What do y'all need up here? And I was like, I was just sitting here. And Joey's like, well, we're trying to meet Nelly real quick. And he's like, well, Nelly's not signed up for any meet and greets tonight. His security said that we don't need, nobody's coming back here. Nobody's coming back here.
Right.
And there's another guy behind him. Joey says, hey, I don't remember his name now, but he said, where's blah, blah, blah. And he was like, oh, he left. He was like, well, I'm Joey. And he's like, oh, you know who this is? He tells the guy that's hazing us or whatever. He's like, this is the guy that put on the party. And they're like,
just lead with that.
Yeah. And they were like, okay, cool. Well, Nelly security said he can't have anybody else. He's like, but if you want to go talk to him, you can. So Joey goes back, security lets him through, and then he's like, next thing you know, they're like flagging us over, and I was like, oh, snap. So walk back there, and there Nelly is, you know. They had let us back there just because, you know, and me and Nelly get to talking about rodeo, and he's telling me about how since Country Grammar, he's done so many rodeos and so many of these different rodeo venues. And I was like, man, it's just badass to meet you. I was like, it's really cool what you do. Like, I really appreciate the music industry. And he was like, dude, no, you're the badass. He was like, you do something I never do. Blah, blah, blah. So me and Nelly and all of them, we end up taking pictures and walk out together. I'll pretty much walk all the way till he goes to his car, and me and him are talking. Like, I got a video on my phone that Joey sent me, and me and Nelly just walking down the stairs.
Oh, that's and so cool.
Like, one of the most humblest dudes I've ever met. Like, for somebody to have that much success and be humbled enough. I mean, I guess I have my success in my world, but he showed me that much love, you know. And I thought that was some of the coolest stuff that I had been part of. And I don't know, I'm more than grateful from that experience and the things that I've learned and the people that I got to meet. And for a 30-minute video, I couldn't even fit it all in what I like to say. And I mean, and just watching the NFR, that too, like, that was insanely wild. Pretty much every event came down to the 10th round of who was going to win a world title.
Down to the 10th round.
Yeah, nobody really walked away with it. You know, it was everybody had to earn it, and I thought that was insanely awesome. Kudos to everybody in pro rodeo. I guess I'll be seeing y'all next year. After that, I guess that
wraps it up.
It's come down to closing time here in the Chute Club.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't got to go home, but y'all got to get out of here. So we love y'all. We thank y'all. Appreciate y'all for watching. God bless. No sweat. And we'll be seeing y'all in 2022.
Peace.
Out there for hours and my boots can't walk a mile. Now the shoot is going down like 4 flat tires. I'm dripping blue just like the sky. I got that drip, check how I